I think we
I
all,
tried.
I think we all know your kitchen right now, you know.
I tried to do it. It's like I give up. I think my tablet is acting up. Whatever it is. So
It's okay. It's
it's fun. So
okay.
it's a good way to it's a good thing to a good way to start this with a laugh. You know what I mean?
I like that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
So
No
yeah,
matter
it's a
no
good way.
matter what, I always laugh, but this is a very good laugh.
Yeah. It is
Thank
awesome. So what's going on with you? How you been? I know you got to run. We can make it short, which is
No, it's
fine.
good. It's
So yeah,
actually good. We have 30 minutes. That's good. And thank you for doing this. You know, I usually don't
yeah.
change my schedule for anyone, but I had this client emergency and the time, she's in New Zealand, I'm here, and the time is just like, yeah, so I had to sacrifice something. But thank you for doing this. Let's
Yeah.
start. Let's do it. You go.
Yeah. So we are discussing about questions that for me, quite asking the right question is very powerful. It's a way to help you change your state, change your mind. So having said that, but asking stupid questions will change your state as well. You know what I mean? Like for instance, if you say, remember you got to think of your head as a computer chip, as a
It is.
system.
It is
So
a system.
if you say why is my life sucks, it's gonna say, okay, give me a second, and you look for it. I'm gonna look in the database and find out. It's gonna come up with answers. It's gonna say, okay, your life sucks. This is why. 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 So
Exactly.
so so the questions you ask yourself have to be empowerment questions because whatever you look for, you'll find. So if the question is stupid, then you're gonna like when I'm coaching people, some of the questions I ask and make you think to shift your focus and find the right answers. You know what I mean? Because you're digging. Because I'm sure your life, there's a part of you that's wonderful. You just don't tap into it all the time. You know what I mean? And because you're so focused on what's going on right now and what part of your life that's not great. So, but because you choose to focus on that. But
Exactly.
if you can change that focus by asking empowerment questions. Like for me, I made up 5, 7 different questions a day. Sometimes I keep the same questions, and sometimes I mix them up, and I try to come up with 2 answers. And even if I can't come up with the answers right away, but the fact
It
that I
makes
ask
you
myself
think.
that
Yeah.
questions, it makes me think, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shoot, an answer pop up because that's what I'm looking for. I'm
Exactly.
looking for a solution, you know.
It goes
So
to back
questions,
to, well, I'm sorry to cut you. It goes back to what we talked about, you know,
yeah,
when you put where you put your attention, you put your energy. So as
yeah,
you say, when you ask why questions and you ask it in a negative way, the universe, everything, even your head will give
yeah.
you all the reasons. So yeah, it all goes about the attention. And when you ask the right question, even if you don't know the answer, then you start thinking about it and you will find because you are looking.
Yeah, yeah. It's right questions, or for me, I like to call it empowerment questions to empower you to improve your life, better. Or maybe like one good question you can ask if you're in a relationship. Forget about the other person. You can say, well, how can I make my relationship better? What is that? What do I need to do to be a better husband, or to be a better boyfriend, or to be a better wife, whatever? And the more you ask that questions, believe it or not, answers will start popping. Things that you're not even thinking about will start popping. It's like, oh, you could do that, and if you do that, watch what's going to happen, and the other person will react to that. It's just happened just like that because you just have to ask powerful questions to help you. So same thing with business. What do I need to do to be productive today? Or what can I do to improve my business? What do I need to do to take my business to the next level? And you may not have the answers right away, but if you keep asking that question, because you're looking, asking is like looking. You're looking for
Exactly.
answers, and your brain, your head will pop up with an answer for you eventually. Or you can
Exactly.
ask, how can I be a better dad? What can I do to be a super dad, to be a wonderful dad? And the more you ask that question, like, okay, maybe if I do that, or if I do this, if I do that, kind of stuff. So I find that, very useful to come up with some really, it doesn't have to be five. It could be, you can start with two or maybe four or five, it doesn't matter. But just try to make sure you phrase that question from an empowerment way so that you can, you're not asking the question, okay, why do I have to do this every day? Why this, why that, So it's very different, so the questions, you can ask anything. And whatever you ask, you're gonna get an answer. But that's why I said the question has to be empowering, very empowerment.
Yeah, that's very interesting what you say, because I'm not a directive coach. I'm a provocative coach. So I ask questions. I just ask questions because I believe you are the highest power in your life and you have the answer to everything. We all do. We have the answer to everything. And as a coach, I don't know everything about your life. You do. You do everything, whatever you say. But sometimes, today, for example, I was talking to one of my clients, and I asked something, and I just asked something about, like I said, what was the last time, for example, what was the last time that you were happy? When was the last time that you were happy? And then he started telling me stuff. I said, I had to stop him. I said, no, remember, when was the last time you were happy? What were you doing? Where were you living? Who were you living with? And then he started talking, and we talked. I think 15 minutes later, he told me his dream. Like, this is what I do. I help people realize their dream, and he was impressed. He was just like, what? I just told you what I want and what I'm good. And this is, again, I do that it happened to me too. And the question with why, in my business, at least in my line of work, why question is, to me, why question are just interrogation questions that I do to myself, only to myself. Because it's a line of questioning that I do when I'm stuck. For example, if I'm just going to give an example. Again, this is something I coach, especially ladies, because women, deep down, some of us are so broken that we want something that is not attainable. So we fall in love with a guy or with a woman, whatever, with someone who is unemotionally available, right? Emotionally unavailable. And then one line of question that I always tell these ladies to do, ask yourself, why? Why do I like this guy? Why do I, and then just listen. Yeah, I like it because it does that. Okay, why do I do that? Or why do or I do the same thing with myself. If I want something, or if I feel something that is not sitting right with me, I start interrogating myself. And at the same time, I'm honest and I have compassion, no judgment. I ask myself, why do you do this? Why do you feel this? Okay, now this, why would you think like that? These are the why question. These are, again, interrogation question. And then I have empowerment question, as you say, and it will never start with why, because the moment we ask why, I do this with myself because I know the thing behind the thing. But the moment you ask, let's say your daughter, she does something. The moment you say, why are you doing this? The guards comes up. As a dad, you will notice that, right? The guard, why are you questioning me? Or you do it to your partner, or even you do it with like your friend. The moment you say why, all the guards comes up. But if you ask the question, reframe that question and say, what makes you feel? How do you feel when you do this, right? It's totally different, because when you say how, or what makes you do this thing, what is the reason behind it? So I always think that for us to do with others, we should refrain all the why questions, and for ourselves, we should only use why question to interrogate ourselves when we're stuck. That's what I do. And it's so interesting that you started with this whole why you ask, because based on the laws of the universe don't understand negative or positive. Universe just respond to your vibration. So as long as you say, why is this happening to me? Universe will show you more. But the moment you say, what can I do to get out of this situation? The universe will give you the answers.
Yeah, no, I agree. Why, in the NLP language, we don't use why all the time, because why gives you reasons.
Exactly.
When people ask why, it gives you reason. But however, if there's a passion that you want to, you love to do, there's a reason. You always have to ask you, why do you want to become this? Why do you want to be? Why do you have passion for this thing? So that has to. You need to have a very big reasons, big why you love this, why you have that.
That's a
But as
reason.
far
That's
as
a
in the
purpose.
NLP,
Yeah, that's
in
the
in
purpose.
in the NLP language, we don't use why, because why gives you nothing but reasons. So if you want someone to give you, tell you the truth, you wouldn't want to ask why, because why only gives you reasons, But so you have to ask it from a different perspective,
Yeah.
Regardless whether you use what, how, what
Yeah,
about, what,
exactly.
don't matter. Just avoid that. But we do ask why, but not too often. But as far as for you, for empowerment, when you ask questions, it's very important to come up with some really good questions. Avoid asking the why, because like I said, if you ask why your life sucks, you're gonna come up with 10 million reasons why your life sucks. Why I don't have any money, why I
And
can't win, why I can't do this,
you know,
why I can't that. Come up with a lot of reasons for
I
that.
think the why question gives us our circumstances. This
Reasons.
makes us look at what's going around us, and gives us reasons. But when you say how or what, it broaden your perspective, and you don't just look at what's going on right now.
Right.
But
Totally agree.
what is one question, like what is your number one question that you ask yourself all the time?
Oh, I have a few. I have a list of I have several. One of the question I ask myself all the time, what do I need to do consistently? Because I need to be consistently to create the long-term result of my business. I ask that all the time. The reason why, because I don't want to have short-term results. So I want to create, I need to have long-term. So I always ask that question, okay, what do I need to do? I'm going to have an answer pop up. Okay, I do that. Well, I keep asking it, keep having different answers. And when I put all that together, I start having the long-term results. So that's one question when it comes to business. When it comes to family, I always ask myself, how can I be a better dad? What do I need to do to become a better dad? That's a question I ask myself every day, because that's important. Whether it's relationship, I ask that all the time as well. So what can I do to have a great relationship with my significant other, to make sure things are okay, because that's important, because those questions, I think those are questions you need to ask every day, because the more you ask, the more answers will come up, and the more results you'll be able to create to make
Exactly.
that better. You know what I mean? Or versus I say, okay, why is my relationship with it sucks? It's not, no relationship is perfect. You
I
know
know.
that,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So you have the choice. You either ask why, then you'll get a lot of reasons until you get out, or you just say, how can I make this better?
Exactly.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
that's totally,
So
yeah, that is totally
yeah.
true.
So those are the questions I ask every day in my mind. So I don't have to write them down anymore. I just say it to myself all the time, and or if I'm not doing anything, I just keep asking, but mostly those are the two things: business and relationship, family and kid. So I want to make sure I'm always on my game. How do I make this better? Because we're not perfect. You know what I mean? So, and to be creative, you got to ask creative questions. You have to ask empowered questions, versus asking stupid questions. Like I said,
Why
stupid
questions? Like
questions.
really, why? I believe why question. Again, I love the whole why line of questioning of why, but again, that's interrogation. But I always say, for me, everything like I grew up thinking I grew up thinking what makes me happy. It was always, that was my mom's and dad, the way they brought us up was do what makes you happy. And then I forgot. And I really, I for a very, very long time. But what got me here today was that in a beautiful moment, I asked, instead of saying, why is this happening to me? I said, what do I want? What do I really, really want for once? Like really after that, and I used to write it down. And I noticed while I was writing down, I noticed that the stuff that I'm writing down, none of them is what I want. None of them. And then it just hit me like, what do you want? What makes you happy? And it just started there. And that's one thing that I encourage everyone, all my clients, all my friends, everyone I talk to. When they talk to me, I ask them, what makes you happy? And the funniest thing is most people, especially the clients that I work with in the beginning, the moment I ask them what makes you happy, they start telling me the stuff that doesn't make them happy. And the stuff, and I said, like, wait, imagine, so ask the question and use your imagination. If you ask your kid, for example, or a kid, go in the street, ask a kid that doesn't have anything, ask him what makes you happy. He will give you an answer right then and there, without even thinking that he doesn't have even a shoes to wear. Okay, what as grown-ups, we have so much layers. I feel like we go like this. This is what we are. Best of it is this. But the moment you ask yourself what makes me happy, and really sit with it, it's just like everything opens. It's just like you have new glasses on. Everything changes, and the start. And this is a question that you have to do daily. I do it all the time, like every single whatever. When people ask me something, before I answer them, I ask myself, would that make me happy? Would I be satisfied with myself? Even the clients that I pick up, the stuff that I do, the people that I talk to, a coffee that I will have with someone. And in the beginning, it gets really slow, and because you have to get used to it. But it's a repetition that you do, and now it's just part of me. Yeah. And yes, happiness is kind of elusive too. You have to get that. Like I'm a happiness coach, but it doesn't mean that I'm always happy. No, sometimes I do stuff. Sometimes I do stuff that doesn't make me happy then, but I know in the long run that will make me happy, or I'm on the right path to get to the happiness.
Yeah, well, there's a technique I use that's called switch pattern in the NLP. So whenever I find myself not in a particular state, I break the pattern right away. And then there's two questions. Whenever I find myself in a state that's unhappy or sad states or frustration states, and I always ask myself those two questions. Number one is, what could I feel great about my life right now? Exactly. So, and the minute I ask that and I start searching, and then the minute I start searching, that problem that I'm focusing on, my focus is no longer on that. So now it's focusing on looking, okay, what else do you have? You have your daughter, you have this, or I can ask, so what's really great in my life right now? And I start thinking, so I'm looking.
The gratitude comes in. The gratitude comes in. And
because you have to ask the right questions.
Exactly. So the moment you ask, that's what happens. Like last week I had a breakthrough. I'm not going to call it breakdown, but I had a breakthrough. But it was a breakdown. I was feeling really, really low. And at that moment, I asked, and I knew now when I feel low, it's okay to be not okay, right? But in that moment, I instantly start listing everything that I have and how happy I am, how grateful I am. And the moment that I start looking, again, what you asked, what else do I have? Right now, it's okay. Right now, I'm feeling this because of this and this and this, but what else can I focus on? What else is there? And then I totally forgot what I'm in. So that kind of, and it was, to me, I believe is always gratitude, because I feel it to my bone every morning, every second, every moment. Right now that I'm talking to you, I feel the gratitude of this life that has been given to me. And I believe that has been given to me, a second chance of living my life the way that I wanted. And I cherish it, and I feel the gratitude. And I think no matter what happened to me, no matter what I deal with outside of me, that gratitude plays a very, very big role. The moment I'm gonna, so that's the line of question. Like, that's the thing that line of questioning will bring. But if I would say, why am I feeling like this? I would have tons of other reasons, and I would go lower and lower.
Well, it's that's important too. And then I think pattern interrupt is very powerful, So whenever you find yourself in a particular state, you need to start paying attention what makes you go and kill it from the beginning. Before that emotion become a monster. So there's techniques I use called pattern interrupted in the language of NLP. So what that is like whenever you find yourself in a particular state that's not serving you any good, because when you're in a sad state, well, let's face it, can you be productive?
No.
You can't be productive, right? How much
You're
can you
blind.
produce?
You're just
Exactly.
blind.
So your business go down, you're losing time, you can't do much. So or you can't really make anything happen because you're in a
Exactly.
different state. So when you often find yourself going in a different states, you get those pattern interrupt. I use that a lot with clients and including myself. So I would use a different things to just snap me out. But if you do it often enough, it becomes so
Second
easy to the
nature.
point where you
Yeah.
just so you know how to break the pattern. So I think that's very important to learn how to do or to do with your clients. If you're sitting with a client and they're just talking about something nonsense that makes them feel good rather than talk about celebrations, what else you have in your life that's going great, because you don't want them to stay in that sad state, right? So you got to learn how to break that pattern. And they be, however you do it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You can laugh at them, you can do whatever, but it's whatever it is.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful techniques to do to break a pattern. But I love doing it myself because because to be a coach, you have to coach yourself. You have to learn how
Exactly.
to do that. So I really want learn how to practice these things for myself because there's a lot of bad habit that I wanted to break. I wanted to stop doing that are unconscious sometimes.
Exactly.
Like you find yourself pissed off. You're like, okay, why am
Why
I
am
pissed
I?
off? Yeah, you
Exactly.
know what I mean? So, but because and the reason why I asked why, because I realized I'm looking at the time passing by and I'm not getting anything done. And because I'm in a particular state that doesn't serve me and particular emotions. So how do I snap out of it? And the way to snap out of it is one way you could do it, ask powerful questions. And for me, I think question is a good way. For me, physiology is the best. When you change your
Exactly.
physiology. If I
Exactly.
have to do 10, if I have to get up and do 10, 20 push-ups and get it out of my system, as soon as I'm done, my mind is somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? Or if I have to jump, whatever it is I got to do, I just break that pattern right then and there because that allow me to be in a different state. Try
Exactly.
it. I'm telling you. Yeah,
Yeah.
push ups
Yeah.
very, very awesome. You know what I mean? So it's really good to learn how to get yourself out of that state. Out of negative states because you
Exactly.
don't want it to dry. You could dry for hours, maybe days. Because I had the same thing over the weekend. I'm like, shit. What the hell? I didn't want to do anything 2 days straight.
It's like a spiral. I always say this universe is spiral. You go up, it's higher up. You just go up.
Right.
But when you go down, it's the same thing. Everything on the positive side, exactly the same thing on the negative side. And that is that's what happens. That's why physiology means a lot. Whatever happened, like that day, I told myself, I have to go to gym. I have to get myself to the gym, right? And why? Because that specific building has this effect on me, no matter what I am, no matter what I do. The moment I see the sign, I forget everything. The moment I'm there, I'm home. I'm like, thank you, God, we did it. We're here, right? So I know. That's why I encourage people to find that one thing that gives you pleasure. Even if you cannot go there physically, even if you cannot do it, you can imagine it. Find that one. I don't know, some of us is the person that we love, some of us is the thing that we love. Find the moment you're in a low state, find that good feeling and feel the feeling, because your body doesn't understand the reality. Your physiology, your physique doesn't understand the reality or your feeling. The moment you start to feel, it believes that it's happening. So if
Right.
you start and you create, like, it's like memory. We always think that memory is something that has to happen to us and we have it in our brain, right? You can actually form a memory that never has happened to you and believe it, and your body will believe it. That's how it
Right,
is.
right,
The same
right.
thing with when you feel bad, or you feel like when you're low or high. I don't want to say bad, or it's just like low and high. And that's what I always do. Like, ask the question, find the feeling. What can I do? You know, that's I personally encourage everyone to ask themselves what would make them happy. And if the question is no, or like, are you happy? If the question is no, ask yourself, what can I do to get one step closer to happiness?
Yeah, or
How
you can
can I
ask them
do it?
because everybody already have a happy area in their life. So
Yeah,
you don't have to say if we're happy because you can ask, well, can you, you know,
it's elusive. Yeah,
if you would, you know, find that thing that made you happy one time in your life. And there are plenty, you know, if you just ask the right questions. And then you just have to say, okay, as you go back to that time, see what you see, feel what you feel, hear what you heard. You know, go into the moment and
yeah,
feel, really feel the
exactly,
happy. You know, and then
exactly.
that person, you can be happy right now, you know, but, you know, because you already, at some point in your life, you were, there were moments that you were happy when you were with your family. So I'm not, you know, I think for me, asking that question in such a way, and you know, I use a technique called timeline therapy. As you ask the questions, as you go back to that time, you know, can you think of a moment when you were totally
Exactly.
happy,
That's what I
you know,
mean. So yeah,
right? And then
exactly.
they'll tell you. Then you ask them to go right into it. Once you get that
Exactly.
moment, and then you'll see it, you know. And then when they're at the peak, you anchor it, you
Yeah.
know. So it's you know, it's pretty cool stuff. Very powerful tools.
It
I
is,
loving it.
and you can see it. You know, I actually in the beginning, it was a little bit. It was so amazing. I could see like the person that you. Most of my clients, I talk on the phone. I don't see them face to face now. I use Zoom, but like in the beginning, it was on the phone, and I could actually see them coming alive. Like their voice will change. Everything will change. Now, when I see them on the camera, you can see they're coming alive when they tell you like in one moment they're in this low state, and then you put them in that moment, and when they begin to talk about it, they just come alive, you know. And that's one of the amazing thing I think about our job. You know, I think we are very lucky who get to do this and see people to come alive and change, you know, create states, and they in a better state. For me, I can see people like literally they're building dreams, like
Right.
and that's all about asking. The only thing I do, like I get emails, I get texts all the time, you changed my life, you did that, and I always say I didn't do anything. It's all unto you. I just ask the questions, and
Yeah.
and we can do it. All of us can do it to ourselves. Ask the right questions, because the
Yeah.
moment you ask the right questions, there are other questions that will come up and come up. You know, it's just like they're like chain.
Absolutely. You know, it's not up to you to change someone's life. They have to be willing to do the work. You know,
Exactly.
it's like someone coming to you and says, "Well, I want you to train me to become an IFBB pro." I said, "Look, dude, you know, I don't want. I already have enough muscle. You got to do the work. I can't do the work for you. You know, so you're gonna push
I
somebody. So they have to
know.
do. Yeah. So
Believe me,
coaching is
I had that kind of clients
yeah.
too.
So having a coach doesn't mean they're gonna do. Even having a trainer, it's not gonna lift the weights for you.
Yeah,
And one thing I see with my clients sometimes when I used to train people, I said, no. I'm not lifting weights for you. You know, I'm there to guide you, to motivate you, and to push you to your limit with my appearance and my words. But I'm not here to lift the weights for you. I'll spot you. I'm already lifting too much weight already. You know, for God's sake, man. Nobody help
I'm in,
me.
I'm in prep. I'm not touching it. I'm not
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah. It's like, what's the point of that? You know, and
I
then
know.
then if everybody do the even and then that works in everything in every aspect in life when you think about it. If you hire a business coach, they're not gonna do they're gonna set things up. They want you to take action, and you have to take action. So a coach job is the rearview mirror, and your job is to focus on the forward. If
Yeah,
you look at the rearview mirror, then what happened is you're not gonna be able to. You're going backwards. Our job is a side mirror. That's excuse me, side mirrors. That's my
exactly.
job as a coach. And your job,
Exactly.
you cannot focus on the rear view because you're going backwards. You got to stay focused and go straight. So, but you have to do the driving. Your hands got to be on the wheel. Your foot got to be on the pedal. You got to make all the turns. And if you miss a spot, I'm going to tell you, listen, that part is very important.
It's
You know,
an interactive map,
you need it.
it's
You know,
an interactive map. And I think, again, not just because we are coaches, but like I encourage everybody, you need someone that is subjective about you and your life. And again, friends are good, family are good, but sometimes our friends and family, they love us, and they love us very, very much. It has nothing to do with love. And sometimes I think the love that people around us have for us make them blind to our current situations that we're dealing with. So you need someone who's subjective about everything that you're going through.
Something with smoking, I had a client who wanted to quit smoking, you know, but for you to quit smoking, you got to want this. You got to be ready. It's got to be, it's got to be three things. It's got to be three things. It's got to be, if it's a should, it's never going to happen. It's got to be a must. And then he says, it must stop, and then I can do it.
Exactly.
So what these three beliefs have is very important. Same thing, I had a client who has a nuts problem. They wanted to stop eating nuts, you know, and then within 30 minutes, within 30 minutes, and I just, you know, we did some technique, but she reached to a point where it says, okay, I've had enough. This is causing me too much of my show. This is causing me a lot. So I am done with eating nuts. So, so I say, I'm not going to do it unless you're ready to do it.
What I do, I don't buy it, I don't bring it home, and I don't go to the grocery stores. That's how I do it. But I need you to help me with that. We did hypnosis, and then we did a switch, a spitting pattern, and it was overnight. It's been like 4 months, 5 months. How can you not have peanut butter? How can you be on prep and not have it? Again,
but you got to be congruent with it. You know, like just saying, you know, I've had enough. I'm done. It must. If it's a should, it's never gonna happen. I'll tell you that right now.
Exactly.
It can't be exactly. It's gotta be a must. So you know, I'm ready to quit eating peanut butter or quit smoking. I can help you do that right away. But you got to believe that it's a must.
What do I want? What do I want? What do I care for?
Quit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But if you say I should is not, you're not ready. You know,
it's
so
like I do it tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's why I said the client has responsibilities. You know, I can't do the job for you. Exactly. You got to want to be coached. Same thing with trainers. Same thing, whatever bad habit you want to break. It's got to be a must to you. You know what I mean?
You must want to be helped.
Yeah. So, you know, like I had a client who wanted to lose weight. They wanted to do a nutrition assessment. So, and all she's saying, oh, I'm a little, using softening words. I'm a little this, I'm a little that. I said, look, I'm sorry. See all these people on my wall, they all have one thing in common. They come to me, they know the truth. The truth was, I'm fat, I'm ready to change. I can't take it no more. I must change.
Exactly.
So when you get to that stage, then I can help you, because when you say I'm a little, you soften, because you can't soften the truth.
You know,
the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
But well, that's why I said you got to be honest with your emotion. The truth is the truth. Once you allow, say, okay, this is where I'm at. I accept the truth. Then you're ready to change. So okay, I hit a plateau. I'm ready to change that. But if you're not honest with yourself, you're not ready. Then you're not ready.
Exactly.
You're gonna be wasting your money, your time. So you know, when you use, there are times you got, like, if you're feeling a certain way when it comes to emotion, like I can say, I'm feeling a little frustration. I need to soften that a little bit because I don't want it to be heavy. But something else, like I want to quit something, I want to lose weight. And you say you know you are heavy, and you saying, well, I'm a little fat. When you soften it like this, you're not ready, because all you're doing, you're changing your condition so you can be comfortable with where you are and you can be happy. How is that going to help you? That's not going to help you. So I'm a tough coach. Sometimes I have to be. I'll tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. Look, this a little doesn't work for me.
Yeah, you have to be.
So
and I think this is where that whys come in. Why do you want something? And the moment you have your why, you can endure anyhow, as Nietzsche says. When you have the man who has his why, can endure anyhow. That's what it is. And sometimes dealing with, you know, again, I have this system. I found the paradigms that people are dealing with, from time paradigms, money paradigm, and they're all paradigms. They're like patterns of thinking that they are just, you know, used to it. And at the end, when it's a line of questioning. Most of the time I found out that they just don't know their why. And the moment they find their why, the moment they say they find their dream, they're willing to do anything. That's why you have that tough. I'm more like, I'm nice.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Well, it's because, you know, I believe in pain and pleasure.
Yeah.
So if there's enough pain, when there's enough pain, listen, if every time you eat nuts, it costs you a show.
A show.
And
exactly.
a show costs thousands, right? That's pain.
Yeah.
If there's no pain there, you're not ready to quit that stuff.
To be honest with you, that's so true that you said that. I had this one of my family member, he was a bodybuilder, and that got me to quit eating nuts. And it was like, I think it was my second show it was my third show. And he was living with us at that time. I took this nut and I put it in my mouth, and he told me, took it out. And I was just like, no. I said, like, you know what? When you go upstage, when you're on the stage, that will show under your skin. And I just, you know, I imagined it, and I just spit it out. And I remember every time I wanted to cheat or I wanted to have an extra nut, I would remember, oh my God, he told me, and that was it. That was it. Like that did it to me. But now that right there was a massive interrupt pattern he uses on you, which is really good. So it really worked. Yeah. You know, it's important. You know, because it's true. You know, that's why I said, if you're gonna work with a client and the client is not being honest with themselves, then this client is not ready to change. Yeah. You need to say, you know, okay, this is the truth. There's certain things, when you use little words, I'm little this, all you're doing, you soften your condition. And so you make sure there's not enough pain there so you can be comfortable. So if you're comfortable, then that way you're not ready to change. Yeah, if you weigh 300 pounds, right? You weigh 200 pounds, and you say, well, I'm a little heavy, I'm a little this. You know, but ma'am, excuse me, forgive me, you fat. You know, I mean, accept that. Make it a pain. You know, so you have to accept the pain, because if you don't say it until it hurts, and for you to say, okay, you know what, it must change. I must do something about it. I can do something about it. And that's how I choose all my clients, really, because what's the point if I'm in business to deliver results? Exactly. You know, yeah. So what's the point in working with someone who's not being honest with themselves and who's trying to soften their pain? And for any business, like anybody that's in business, you know, the people that are your perfect clients are pain and pleasure. Exactly. You know what I mean? How much pain they have. Yeah, you know what? I'm ready. I can't take this pain no more. I'm tired. I'm done. Yeah. I had enough. I must change. And what would that do? What would that do for you if I could show you a plan to help you do this, so you can enjoy yourself with your family or with your friends and live a better life? Basically, you know, and I do the same thing. I actually interview my clients, and I only work with people. I proceed working with people that I really understand that they're committed and they really need help. First, they want my help. Second, they're committed. Because other than that, as a coach, I will never succeed. You know, that's the thing. It's not that we want to work with everyone. I personally don't want to work with everyone. I want to work with anyone that is committed and wants my help. You cannot force help anyone, and you cannot do it no one can do it for you. You have to want to be helped. You have to want to go the extra mile that you have to go. Yeah. 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 I agree. There's no pain. I can't work with you. I need to have pain. I need pain. You know, pain equals beliefs, you know. If there is one question you encourage people to ask themselves all the time before we commit will lead them to discipline. Exactly. I have so many. It depends on. It depends. Yeah, well, it depends on is it a family or business aspect? No.
you know,
just like let's say if there is one question that you can always ask yourself to get to the better state at any time.
yeah. Okay. So that one is important to me. I would recommend you ask that question all the time. If the question is, what could I feel great about my life right now? Whatever state you're in, whatever condition you're in, if you're not happy, just ask yourself, what could I feel great about my life? Even if somebody just punched you, just had a horrible day, you know, or something just happened, just ask yourself, what could I feel great about my life right now?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
even
you.
if you just lose everything in your account.
I know,
Whatever it
yeah.
is, I can pause you. Just ask. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna find answers. You're gonna say, okay, well, I have my kid, I have this. You'll find. Just ask yourself that question.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. This was, as
Bye.
always, so much
Yeah.
fun. See you
Yeah,
next
yeah.
week, same day.
Next week we'll talk. All right,
6
yeah,
p.m.
same time. All right, no problem. Take care, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.